Good morning, YouTube, and happy Easter. This here is KingCobraJFS with another video. I got a call from my best friend Judy when I got off work to come hang out. I'm like, yeah, sure, you know. And then she tells me that she has an entity in the apartment she's staying in with her kids and everything. And it's not a very nice entity to say the least. So she's asking me, hey, could you come help me deal with it? And I said, yeah, I'll see what I can do. I roll up onto the scene with this wand right here, this wand right here, which I'm going to, when I get some more sandpaper, I'm going to take this wand right here, I'm going to give it a nicer point than this right here. And then I'm going to redo the handle again, and then after that I'm going to touch up the paint, make it look real nice. But yeah, I stepped into the apartment that she's staying in. So, and I asked my other friend, Shorty, I asked him, I said, so this thing, where's the activity the worst at? And he said it was in this area over here, blah, blah, blah. So he points over to the area. So everyone's kind of doing their own thing. I walk over to the area he pointed at, and I try to get a sense of what was it. And the energy, it came at me. Very heavy and not very nice. I'm like, ooh, what do we have here? So I started fucking with it a bit, and then I managed to corner it into the bathroom, and I said, reveal yourself. I cussed it out pretty good too, I did. I said, reveal yourself, and it did. Long, cloaked, hooded figure with no face. Kind of a shadowy sort of demonic presence, basically. And I commanded it to leave the apartment and to leave Judy's kids alone because it was, unfortunately, it was attacking one of the kids. And you can get that with those nasty ass spirits, unfortunately. I said, I did a couple things, and left the apartment and then attached itself to the car we arrived in on the scene because I met up with Judy at one of the parks nearby to play with her kids, help her out with playing with the kids and stuff. And then she calls her brother, and he picks us up, drives back to the apartment and all that. And then yeah. So once I got chased the demon that was in that apartment out of the car with my demon, the one I have inside of me, the one that is me, you know what I'm saying? It was gone after that. I mean, it was quite awesome to say the least. You know what I'm saying? And then Judy was like, could you stay the night so just to make sure it doesn't come back? And I said, yeah, sure. You know. And I didn't get much sleep last night because little baby Serenity was waking up for 5 minutes being a baby, you know. Wah, wah. And, yeah. But after I chased the demon out of that apartment, or whatever that was, most likely it was demonic presence, you know. With like I said, with the demon that is me, you know, holy shit, it ain't gonna come back. And yeah, it's a bit of a walk from my apartment, but it wasn't too bad. It didn't help I ran out of fucking cigarettes. All I had on me was pipe tobacco. So yeah. But I got home and I pulled a fresh pack out of my stash of cigarette packs here. So. And you think to yourself, well, Josh, you're not a Catholic priest or a Christian or a Jesus freak, so what makes you qualified to deal with exorcisms? Two things. One, the magical power I possess is unlike any other. The influence and the connection to the universe I have is awesome. Two, because it was demonic presence, what better to deal with demonic presence than with a demon such as myself? And the very minute I exorcised that demonic presence from the apartment Judy was staying in, the apartment, the energy, it felt lighter. It did. And I had my friend Shorty help me out with that. And we both started farting like a couple hours later, and it was weird. Because he made the joke, oh, that's where that demon went. And I ripped some ass, and then he's like, that's where the other half went. That wasn't really what happened, but, that was our way of just kind of. But they're calling upon me, they're like, you're like the most powerful Wiccan in town that we know, and yada, yada, yada. And I wouldn't consider myself Wiccan, YouTube, but I do practice magic. Like in town, try the universe. Sorry. I have great power with YouTube. There's no denying this. This influence I have on the world around us is, I would say, awesome. Now, I produced the fifth album, and then there's a song on the fifth album called Circle. So it's on the fifth album I produced. Now, several months later, after the fifth album was produced, Google Plus and all its circles was created. And that's too much of a coincidence to be, what I'm saying? Like, I'd say that and people would be like, oh, that's just Josh and his Asperger's syndrome. I'd be like, fuck, it isn't. So I cast a circle of protection around the apartment she was staying in, and then around the apartment building itself that they were in. Which basically means that that thing, whatever it is, isn't coming back to harass them anymore. And I've also cast a circle of protection around the building I'm in right now. I've done that too. And it works. I witnessed it in real life. Because a couple months after I cast it, I was out on the side of the building spray painting my bike. Some guy comes by trying to get into the building. I didn't think much of it, thinking he was looking for somebody, I let him into the apartment. Well, it starts to rain a little bit, and my bike's dry enough I can carry it back into the apartment. So, as I'm doing that, he comes down the stairs and he goes, "You know where so and so lives?" And I go, "No." The person's name wasn't so and so, but you get what I'm saying. And at this point, I noticed he had a pistol at the side of him and a clipboard in his hand, and I'm like, "The fuck?" He goes up to one floor, knocks on someone's door, doesn't get an answer, leaves. And I'm like, was that a DEA agent coming to piss test somebody? And they didn't quite get to that person. Right on. In hindsight, though, I'm like, next time, though, I shouldn't just let people like that into the building. Because here I am, you know. Needless to say, though, whoever he was looking for didn't get piss tested that day. Okay, if you're a smoker, sincerely though, how hard is it if you're not near an ashtray to put your cigarette butt in a respectable place? Because it's bad enough people hate us because of our secondhand smoke and shit. And it's like, bitch, please, you act like cigarettes are the worst thing for you out there. Crystal meth. Excuse me, guys, said it out loud. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure crystal meth is a lot worse for you than cigarettes. Trying to flip my luckies here. Oh, you son of a bitch. So yeah, I got to hang out with Judy for a minute. That was fun. You know, she's a girl I get along with really well, and we have we both listen to Cradle of Filth and stuff. So yeah, believe me, if I had the money to take care of those kids and help Judy out with those kids, and I had the space for it, I would. You know, I don't even want kids, YouTube. But if I had the money and the space to it, and it came down to it, you know what I'm saying? But I don't. So after dealing with a demonic presence from hell, which when it revealed itself, I laughed at it. I did. This long, and I said, reveal yourself. And I looked over for a second, and it happened for about 2 seconds. It was standing in, I, and it was backing away from me. Believe it or not, YouTube. That's how scared of me this thing was. Because I pulled my demon out and I said, "You want to fucking go toe to toe, motherfucker?" And it started backing away from me, and then it backed into the fucking walls, and then attached itself to the car that brought me there to the apartment, and then it was in the back seat. I put my hands in the back window and I growled at it in demonic, basically, and I growled at it in demonic tongue, basically, until it's a leave, throw away, never come back. And it did just that. So, not too bad for my first exorcism. I love Southern Cut cigarettes. They're so yummy. Marlboro Southern Cuts. Yeah, I went through a whole carton of these once in about a week because they're that fucking tasty. One of my top favorites. And Juliet was having trouble getting rid of it, and she, you know, you could say she practices the same belief system that I practice. No, she's not a Cobra Angel, for those of you asking, but she does. She does practice magic, to say the least. And she straight up called me, and I'm walking from work, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna need some food in my system to fucking deal with this shit. And I stopped. Well, I had something to eat when I left work yesterday, and then I stopped by Subway on the way over to Judy's. Oh, excuse me. Picked me up a spicy Italian with pepper jack cheese and had lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, Parmesan and all that, and mayo and sandwich oil, and it was toasted. It was yummy. And then I had a bag of Doritos Jacked, those 3D ones, the pepper jack jalapeno ones, which weren't too bad. The first couple of chips, you don't really feel it, but after a minute of eating them, you start to feel it a little bit. Then I had a raspberry cheesecake cookie to go with it. This is a foot long sub. I fucking downed the entire fucking thing. I'm like, I was fucking hungry that day. I don't know what it was. So So I'm having trouble trying to find the place Judy's staying at. She finally just calls me and says, "You want to meet me at the park?" And I go, "Yeah, I'll meet you at the park." And then we did. I met her at the park and stuff. So then Judy goes, "Hey, can you stay the night? So just in case it comes back." And I go, "Yeah, not a problem." So I stayed the night, and every 5 minutes I'm waking up, checking the energy around me just to make sure. So I didn't get much sleep last night. Because it's Easter and I have some alcohol in the apartment, I'm going to consume it. I poured a little bit of cherry Dr. Pepper into that peach vodka bottle. It's not enough to soften the burn, but it's enough to give it flavor, to add flavor to it. And after performing an exorcism, that just sounds really good right now. I woke up about 8 o'clock this morning, and I look over and Judy's still sleeping, and I don't want to wake her up to say goodbye or nothing. I figured let her sleep and stuff. And I left, walked back to my apartment. I gotta say though, Casper's a pretty cool city to live in. I like Casper. It's a cool city to live in. After all, it was the city I was born in, so according to my Zodiac YouTube, I was born under the goat's head and the fire. I'm an Aries, which falls from March 21st to April 20th, believe it or not. But Judy and the kids are doing all right. They got a roof over their head. That's what's up. So that's good. But Judy's got like 3 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do what I can to help out. Judy says, "Hey, there's a demonic presence fucking with me and my kids in the apartment. Could you come deal with it?" "Yeah, sure." And I said to the demon, "The power of Lucifer compels you. The power of Jesus Christ compels you. The power of Satan compels you to leave this apartment." And I don't get down with Jesus and all that shit, but either way, I got to leave the apartment. It's not even 5 o'clock yet, but I have the day off today, and it's Easter, so salute. And you can see I poured a little bit of cherry Dr. Pepper in here. Yeah, give it a nice reddish color to it. was gonna come home after work and just play some Grand Theft Auto 5 online, but I had to deal with a presence first. And a bunch of crows were cawing at me when I was walking home. That's what's up. I have a couple spirit animals, YouTube, and crows and ravens are two of them. The king cobra, obviously, but my spirit king cobra is very specific looking. I've seen what it looks like. It's cool looking. So, yep, that's pretty much what I was all doing yesterday. Now, once I got the demon to leave that apartment, though, the air around that apartment got 10 times lighter. We had a Christian telling me, hey, we need your help. You know, that's coming from a Christian who doesn't practice magic or nothing, but has an understanding of it at least. Telling me that he's the most powerful Wiccan that I know in town. And, you know, I don't go into detail about my belief system too much, so to simplify things, anybody asks, I say I'm Wiccan, I'm spiritual, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're commanding two different deific forces to command the one demonic presence to leave. I had a very interesting experience, YouTube, and it was on Easter of all holidays. When I was younger, I lived in South Lake Tahoe, California, and my stepmom's parents had come to visit for a minute, and we all rolled up into this tiny ass church. I mean, tiny as fuck. And I was 8, 9, 10, 11 years old at the time. And I got down on my knees in front of, or behind one of the pews. I prayed. And I said, I want to see Jesus Christ walk in through that fucking door. Didn't think much of it, really. But about 10 minutes later, it actually happened. He walked in through the door, walked down the aisle, turned left, and disappeared. And the weird thing about it, YouTube, the weird thing about it was that I was the only one that seemed to notice that happening. And I didn't pray out loud either. I was a silent prayer. Now, some Christians would look at that and go, that is a sign that blah, 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 blah. No. More likely, what a more logical explanation for that would be because the church was so freaking tiny, and because it was Easter, and because, you know what I'm saying, the energy in the room was thinking of Jesus and all that shit. Because the energy in the room caused that to happen. But he looked like Jesus you'd see in the portraits and stuff. He had the long brown hair, the long brown goatee, this white kind of robe-looking thing with a red sash around it. It was tied off. He had the sandals on and everything. Yeah. So I took off my boots for a minute here and just kick it. I know my parents are having Easter dinner later on tonight, so there's that. Is it weird though that I get home and as I'm about to charge my iPod, I pull my, no, not my iPod, my iPhone. I pull my iPhone out of my pocket, and I didn't press play, but it starts playing a song by Cradle of Filth from Cruelty and the Beast. Interesting. You know, seeing Judy again after a minute just made me wish I had a girlfriend. You know, Judy's an awesome girl. Don't get me wrong. But if I get a girlfriend, I want somebody who's a bit closer to my age and who doesn't have kids. You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't, you know, because, you know. And I'm not too picky, honestly. If she's good looking enough, you know what I'm saying? And we connect well enough, I can make it happen, you know what I'm saying? But I don't get down on fat chicks, I'm sorry. I know it's mean to say, but the thing of it is, though, if there weren't guys if there were not guys who were into that kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? I'd have more sympathy, but and don't get it twisted, YouTube. I understand that our society has a very narcissistic view when it comes to body image. And if you feel like you're fat and you want to lose weight, don't let society dictate your body image. Lose the weight for you as a person. That goes for both. That goes for both sexes. But how our society can sit there and see a woman who's got beautiful curves on her and call her fat. Like, really? That's horse shit. It is. You know, a woman with curves, it's a beautiful thing. Oh. You know, I'm waiting for the right girl to come along in my life, YouTube. And it sucks waiting. You have no idea how much it sucks waiting. But once the wait's over, it's so worth the wait. You know what I'm saying? Uh, it is, it is. I'm half tempted to go back to bed right now. Like, you have no idea. Before my first exorcism and not getting much sleep last night, I'm a little bit tired. But I might just stay up because I got a bottle to finish. And I saw like 4 or 5 bunnies walking home, just in random people's yards. And I found that kind of funny actually, because it was Easter and shit. Uh, but yeah, I got to see a side of Casper I didn't get to see before. Like, this is a side of town that, you know, it's up in the hills over by Washington Park and shit. So yeah, she goes, it's by Washington Park, and I'm like, okay. And once I finally got to the destination and dealt with what I had to deal with, yeah. Oof. Well, I have most definitely kept you long enough on this video. So until then, this is KingCobraJFS with another video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all later.